Namaskar, dear friends. Today I'll tell you a story not from India but from England. A story from more than 400 years ago when England danced in glory of literature, music, and poetry. This is the story of Elizabethan age, an age when poets turned words into magic. Let's begin. Imagine the time, the mid 1500s, England was changing. Before this, poetry was mostly religious, a bit dark and serious. People wrote more for God than for human emotions. But then came a queen, Queen Elizabeth, a young woman of just 25 who sat on the English throne in 1558. She ruled for 45 years, and during her reign, something wonderful happened. The English mind opened up with the Renaissance winds blowing from Italy. People started reading about ancient Greeks and Romans, new words and new signs, and poets. Yes, they also started writing about nature, human feelings, things which are close, very close to the heart of human beings. The Elizabethan period from 1558 to 1603 became the golden age of English poetry. It was like a great spring season after a long winter, full of freshness, joy, and beauty. Now imagine poetry as a beautiful Indian thali. So many flavors, so many colors. The poets of the Elizabethan time did not stick to one recipe. They experimented, they played with the words. First came the sonnets, the most famous item in the menu. 14 lines, fixed rhythm and overflowing with love and passion. The sonnet was imported from Italy, but in England it found a new look. Thanks to the poets like Sir Philip Sidney and the god of English literature we know, William Shakespeare. You know Shakespeare? Yes, the same person who wrote Romeo and Juliet. His sonnets talked about poetry, love, and even pain of time. His famous line, "Shall I compare thee to a summer's day?" It became immortal, really immortal, eternal. Next came the lyrical poetry. Yes, my friend, lyrical poetry. Short musical poems which are full of emotions. These poems were like soft romantic songs we hear in Bollywood movies. Thomas Campion was a master of English poetry, lyrical poetry, right? Yes, Elizabethan lyrical poetry. Okay, Elizabethan lyrical poetry found a new face. Okay, this man, Campion, he contributed a lot to the development of the poem, often setting his words to music. Yes. Then came epic and narrative poems. Big stories, adventures, heroes like our Ramayana and the Mahabharata. The grandest example is nothing but Edmund Spenser's Fairy Queen. Knights, dragons, queens, adventures, all mixed in poetry. Then pastoral poetry also became very famous. Simple poems, very simple poems about the joys of the countryside life. Think of it like, describing the peace, the joy of an Indian village, the beauty of nature, far from the noisy city, far from the madding crowd. Christopher Marlowe, he wrote the passionate shepherd to his love, asking his beloved to come and enjoy the countryside. And lastly, there was allegorical poetry, poems with deeper meanings, like our Panchatantra stories. On the surface, they told a tale, but underneath, they had moral or political messages often praising the Queen Elizabeth I herself. Now let's talk about why Elizabethan poetry became so special. What was its secret spice? First, celebration of nature, love and beauty. Unlike earlier poets who spoke only of religion, these poets celebrated human feelings. Okay, love was the central theme. Shakespeare, he wrote 154 sonnets, some for a beautiful young man, Mr. W.H., and some for a mysterious lady whom we call Dark Lady, right? We have already explored Shakespeare in a different video. Okay, you may go and watch, but for this video, this is enough, because here we are just going to have a glimpse at the Elizabethan style of poetry. Okay, various genres that flourished during the golden age, that is Elizabethan period in English literature. Okay, now let's come back to Shakespearean sonnets. Okay, he wrote, we know, 154 sonnets. Some sonnets are for Mr. W.H. and the rest are for a mysterious lady whom we know as Dark Lady. All these sonnets, they explore the many moods of love and time. Musical rhythm, second, the musical rhythm. These poems were musical with melody in every line. Thomas Campion, yes, that Thomas Campion, for example, made his poems sing like our Indian classical musicians. Third, the influence of Greek and Roman classics. Poets, they borrowed stories from ancient Rome and Greece, heroes, myths, gods, making their poetry feel grand. Okay, just like how Indian poets borrowed from the Mahabharata, the Ramayana, I think you can understand properly, right? Fourth, patriotism and allegory. Many poets used their works to glorify England and of course Queen Elizabeth I. Spenser's Fairy Queen, this was not just about knights. It was a big thank you to the Queen, calling her Gloriana, the symbol of power and purity. Fifth, experimenting with new styles. This period was an age of creativity. Poets, they tried various forms, different types of styles, different types of rhythmic patterns. Okay, for example, we can mention Mr. Sir Philip Sidney's great creation, right? Astrophel and Stella. Okay, Astrophel and Stella brought a new romantic voice to English poetry. Shakespeare made the English sonnet famous, 3 quatrains and a final couplet, like a perfect Bollywood climax scene. Sixth, simple words, deep meaning. Elizabethan poetry was not complicated. It spoke directly to human hearts with simple words and timeless emotions. That's why even today when you read, "Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Shall I compare thee to a summer's day?" You smile, you feel connected, right? Why? Because that, my dear friends, is the beautiful story of Elizabethan poetry. A time when poets became stars, words became songs, and emotions became art. Elizabethan poetry reminds us that no matter where we live, in India, in England, or anywhere, the human heart beats the same. We all love beauty, we all love nature, love, and timeless feelings. Next time we hear a love poem or a romantic song, remember this journey began long ago under the rule of a wise queen in the golden courts of Elizabethan England. And thank you all for listening. If you liked this storytelling session, please do subscribe and Join me again for more literary journeys. Till then, keep learning, keep exploring, and thank you.